Hey everyone, and welcome. Have you ever looked at a complex business process and just thought there has to be a simpler way? Well, today we're pulling back the curtain on AI automation. We're going to break down how it all works and, more importantly, how it can turn simple clicks into actual cash flow. Let's dive right in.
So let's start with the big question. That sounds a little like magic, right? How can one single click, just one tiny event, set off a chain reaction that does the work of an entire job? It seems impossible. But here's the thing. It's not magic at all. It's actually built on some incredibly simple logic. Let's get into it.
The secret behind all this powerful, sometimes intimidating sounding technology, well, it all boils down to one simple but super powerful idea. It's the absolute core building block of every single automation out there, the concept of a trigger and an action.
I want you to think of it like a set of digital dominoes. The trigger is just that first domino you tip over. It could be anything. A new email lands in your inbox, someone sends you a message on social media, a new sale comes through. That's the trigger. And when it happens, it automatically causes an action, which is the next domino falling, a specific task happening in a totally different app. It's really just a simple, if this happens, then do that setup.
Okay, so let's make this real. Imagine this scenario. The trigger is a new DM that pops up on your Instagram from someone asking to book an appointment. Bam, that's our starting event. Instantly, a connection, an API, reads that message. And then, the action. A booking link is sent right back to that person, on the spot. No one had to lift a finger. It was just a perfect, instant response. So what was that connection piece in the middle? That's the API. And the easiest way to think about APIs is as digital messengers. Kind of like a waiter at a restaurant. You don't just walk into the kitchen and start yelling your order, right? No, you look at a menu and you give your order to the waiter. The waiter then takes that request to the kitchen and brings back exactly what you asked for. APIs do the exact same thing for your software. They let your Instagram account talk to your calendar using a set of rules to pass messages back and forth. They are the glue that holds all of this together.
Okay, so we get the how, but let's talk about the why. Because this whole trigger and action thing isn't just a cool tech trick. It translates directly into real-world business results, like saving you a massive amount of time and, you guessed it, making you more money.
All right, let's look at our first big use case, AI-powered customer support. This is all about handling questions, solving problems, and helping your customers at a scale that is just flat out impossible for a human team to manage on their own.
And when I say scale, I mean it. Just look at the difference here. A really fantastic human support agent, they can probably juggle, 5, maybe 10 chats at once? An AI agent, though, it can handle thousands of conversations at the exact same time. It's on the job 24/7, it never gets tired, and it definitely doesn't need a coffee break. We are talking about a totally different universe of capacity.
Now, saving time is great, but what about actively making money? Well, let's talk about automated lead follow-up. This is all about capturing those little opportunities that might otherwise just slip through the cracks. It's about turning a simple inquiry on social media or from an email into actual revenue.
Think about it like this. Every missed lead is like a coin dropping on the floor. If you're trying to catch them all by hand, you're going to miss a few. Automation is like having a giant net. It instantly follows up with every single person. It catches all those dropping coins. And in this case, that meant turning them into $15,200 in one single month. That's real money that would have otherwise been lost.
And finally, let's talk about a task that, let's be honest, nobody enjoys. Paperwork. With automated invoice generation, the moment a project is marked complete in your system, a professional invoice can be created and sent out instantly. This completely streamlines your billing, it gets rid of human error, and it seriously improves your cash flow because you get paid faster.
You know, this brings me to a quote that I think just nails it. The goal is not just to be busy, but to be productive. Automation separates the two. And that's the whole point, isn't it? Anyone can be busy, but automation is what frees you from that busy work so you can actually focus on the things that are truly productive.
So we've seen what automation is and what it can do. Now let's peek under the hood and look at the actual engines that make it all run. This is what we call the tech stack. A really good way to think about these tools is as the factory floor for your automations. They're the platforms where you go to actually design, build, and run all those trigger and action workflows we've been talking about.
Now, the two biggest names you're going to hear about are Zapier and Make.com. If you're just dipping your toes in the water, Zapier is probably your best friend. It's incredibly popular and super user-friendly, a great place to start. But if you're ready to build something more complex with lots of steps, Make.com gives you this really cool visual interface that's incredibly powerful for mapping out those intricate automations.
And you know, the rabbit hole goes even deeper. You also have these specialized engines for specific jobs. Tools like VoiceFlow let you build your own custom voice assistants, for Alexa and other platforms. And BotPress is designed specifically for creating really advanced AI chatbots that can handle super complex conversations.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground. The logic, the value, the tools. But the big question that's probably on your mind is, where do I even begin? How do you take all this information and actually apply it? Well, it's a lot simpler than you might think.
And here is the single most important piece of advice I can give you. Do not try to automate your entire life or business overnight. That is a recipe for disaster. The key, the absolute crucial point, is to start small. Just find one simple, repetitive task you do every single day. That is your perfect starting point.
So I'm going to leave you with this one final question, and I want you to really think about it. What is the one boring, repetitive task you do every single day that a machine could easily do for you? What's that one thing that if it was off your plate would free you up to focus on what really matters? Because the answer to that question, that's your first step into this whole world of automation.